The objectives of the Licensing Act 2003 are the prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, the prevention of public nuisance, and the protection of children from harm. As such, the operators of many busy nighttime venues may have a licensing condition which requires them to employ licensed door supervisors. Or they may have taken the pragmatic decision to employ door supervisors because their particular operating model requires a higher level of security. Whatever the reason, it's important that operators are aware that people working in a licensable security activity have to be licensed by the Security Industry Authority. And if they are employed on premises selling alcohol for consumption on the premises, they must be at least door supervisor qualified. Anyone can easily check the current status of a door supervisor by entering their badge license number or a combination of personal information on the Register of License Holders, which can be found on the Security Industry Authority website.
Many of our door staff live out of the area, or they also work in other premises, so it's difficult to know if they have become involved in anything which might cause me concern. That's why I have registered a Licence Status Checker business account with the Security Industry Authority. It's allowed me to set up a watch list so that I can confirm with them that my door staff are licensed, and it gives me some confidence to know that the list will be updated live should their licence be revoked or suspended. Oh, and one other thing. When I get someone new, I always check them out on the SIA website and verify their details using a secondary form of identification. It pays to be careful when your business's reputation is at stake.
It's important to note that if you take responsibility for hiring your own self-employed door staff, that you need to obtain something called a non-frontline licence from the Security Industry Authority. Whether you employ your own in-house team or decide to buy in the service from an outside security provider, you need to be satisfied that the procedures they follow are in line with your own policies and operating protocols. If you delegate that responsibility, your security arrangements or customer care may not be how you or your company want them to be. To help build your due diligence, it is best practice to look at the conditions on your license which are relevant to the responsibilities of your door staff and make sure that they are aware of them. A practical approach might be to list the conditions on a document and get the door staff to sign that they have read and understand them.
Sign it to say that you understand and you're going to adhere to it.
We're getting a lot of these pass, proof of age cards presented as ID. Guys really don't like them.
But they do know we support the Challenge 21 scheme, don't they?
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of fake IDs around at the moment, so, well, you know.
We can't afford to have people undermining company policy. I want you to remind them all that as long as they follow the 5-check verification process to show due diligence, then they have my full support.
OK, sure. I'll have a word with them tonight.
We are now going to concentrate on good practice related to your door staff conducting searches to ensure the security and safety of bar staff and customers, to locate prohibited and dangerous items, and to restrict access to those people who might pose a threat to your business. Consideration should be aimed at ensuring that search methods are commensurate with the risk and proportionate to each situation, whilst addressing concerns about safety and respect of individuals. All searches should be conducted in accordance with current legal requirements, and it is the duty of the employer to ensure that searches comply with such regulations. Consent to a search is always required. Implied consent should not be used.
Consent to a body search? Lovely, arms up for me.
We've received an intelligence briefing from the police at our local Pubwatch meeting that there's been an increase in knife crime in this area. It's not something that we have personally experienced, but I can't take the risk when the safety of my staff and customers is at stake. I've had to take the decision that as a condition of entry, our customers have to be searched. Our door staff know of the increased threat level. Obviously, we don't want to lose customers, but if they won't submit to a search, we're not going to make them, and they are free to leave the area and find somewhere else to drink. Our regular customers know of the policy and we give them plenty of warning.
When appropriate, signs should be in place indicating that individuals may or will be searched. Signs should be positioned such that individuals can choose not to be searched by not approaching the area. Those being searched may consider the search to be invasive. This does not apply solely to searching individuals, but also to the searching of bags.
What goes on into the search?
Such searches may lead to the revealing of personal information or belongings.
Thank you.
Handsome?
Not for me to say, sir. Have a good night.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
too.
I don't think anyone likes being searched, but sometimes people object to the impact a search has on them. We need to understand this and operate in a manner that reduces the possibility of misunderstandings or disrespect, so we can avoid confrontation if possible.
Individuals should be encouraged to assist the process so as to reduce the need for physical contact. They should also be requested to declare anything relevant to the search, such as unauthorized or dangerous items. Factors or items that will affect the search, for example, something that could give a false reading on equipment, and lastly, factors that might be injurious to the individual during the search, such as a pacemaker or other medical conditions.
Ali, step this way, sir. Consent to a search?
Yeah, go on then.
In some cases, the methods employed in the search intent, the proportion of random searches conducted, and other procedures may vary from time to time because of the perceived level of threat. Risk assessments should be conducted as appropriate, and responsibility for decisions taken during searches should be clearly defined and included in procedures.
Well, empty your pockets and to the side, please.
So, for example, would you encourage your door staff to search this customer's headwear? And if so, are they sensitive to the possible cultural and religious issues related to this issue? Risks should be identified which may impact on the searcher's safety, customer and other individuals in the vicinity.
And the rest from that pocket, please, sir.
Door staff should be fully aware of the limits of their responsibility and authority.
So you've got a penknife, sir. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to take that into the club.
There should be a clear policy in relation to what type of unauthorised item is not permitted in the venue, so that customers and door staff are aware of what is relevant to the search. As previously stated, searches may reveal something that may lead to a prosecution, but not all scenarios justify seizure of property. And the detention of individuals is not normally permitted and could potentially lead to claims of false imprisonment.
Come on, mate. That's under 3 inches though, yeah? So legal.
Yeah, I know that, but club rules is no knives. If you want to come in tonight, you're going to have to leave this with us and pick it up tomorrow.
Ah, come on, man. You're just gonna bin it as soon as I get inside, innit?
That's not the case. We'll keep a record and we'll give you a receipt. You must have heard there's been some knife attacks in the area, right? It's for your safety as well as anyone else's.
What if I don't want to hand it over?
Then you don't come in. So what do you want to do?
All right then.
Cool.
Records should be kept in a timely manner of all search activities and also non-search related incidents that might impact on the business. Searches may also result in the discovery of something that could lead to a prosecution. Procedures should be in place to ensure that any evidence obtained by way of the search is dealt with in an appropriate way, and an audit trail should exist relating to the search and the evidence as appropriate. And finally, you should be careful to ensure that procedures are carefully developed to avoid possible claims against the employer. Whilst in many cases claims may be prevented by the searches being conducted in public with potential witnesses, this should not be relied upon. It may be appropriate to use CCTV surveillance or body-worn video cameras to record the search as evidence of the way that the individual is treated. Appropriate signage should indicate that you may be recording an incident or carrying out general surveillance, so that customers are aware of this and understand how it is being used. Your attention is drawn to the Surveillance Camera Code of Practice, issued by the Surveillance Camera Commissioner, and the Code of Practice, a data protection code of practice for surveillance cameras and personal information. One or both of these may apply depending on the circumstances of the use of CCTV. For more information on the issues relating to searching procedures covered in this film, visit the British Security Industry Association website at www.bsia.co.uk. For information related to the licensing of door staff, visit the Security Industry Authority website at www.sia.homeoffice.gov.uk. For information relating the data protection in the use of CCTV, visit the Information Commissioner's website at www.ico.gov.uk.